Welcome to Farmhouse Show Spotlight Olympia. I'm George Sharp, Executive Director of the Olympia Lacey Tumwater Visitor and Convention Bureau, here visiting with Ryan Rutledge with Rutledge Corn Maze. Hi Ryan.
Hi George.
How are you today?
Spectacular. I am amazing.
Appreciate the warm weather you have for us today here at the Corn Maze. Tell us a little bit about the Corn Maze. How did it get started?
Corn Maze, we started back in 2000. My grandfather inherited some money a few years back and bought this piece of property that we have here, and wanted to set his son up with a business, which is my uncle, Rick Rutledge, is the owner, and he wanted to set him up with a business, and so they just started. They were at a farmers convention and saw a gentleman that was talking about doing corn mazes, and next thing you know, we said, okay, let's do it, and here we are. This is our 13th year. 13th
year, and one of the things unique about your corn maze, I think, is some of the imagery you've done over the years.
Yeah.
What did you do last year, and what do you have for this year?
So last year we did the Twilight Breaking Dawn, if you know the Twilight series. We did a theme around that, and real popular with our target market, and so we thought that it would be a good theme, and it worked out well. And then this year is Marshawn Lynch from the Seahawks. It's the Marshawn Lynch family's first corn maze driven by All-Star Ford.
And that's the beast mode.
Beast mode.
The beast mode.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your corn maze and what makes it different than other corn mazes, because you also have like a haunted corn maze.
Yeah. What makes us a little bit different is we've got two actual mazes in the one design for the Marshawn Lynch, and then we have a haunted maze, which is separate and is in a different place. And so that's one of the big things that makes us different, is that we're open at nighttime, and we have an actual haunted maze, and it's outside. So oftentimes with haunted houses, you're inside. It's very short. You're in and out. And here you can go through the haunted maze, and then you can actually go through the regular corn mazes. So it's a pretty good deal.
What are your hours of operation?
Hours of operation. We're open 7 days a week right now. The haunted maze is on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays in October. And we'll start at dark, and essentially Thursday nights we go till 10 p.m. and Friday and Saturdays we'll go till 12:30.
You talked a little bit about your target audience. Who is your target audience for this corn maze?
For this corn maze, this year, our target audience would be football teams, people that like sports. But what we know all the time, which is it's a little bit opposite, is that females 12 to 45 is about 65% of our audience.
Yeah, I know last year that I brought out my daughter, who wasn't driving yet, every weekend in September and October for the corn maze. So you have that target audience captured.
Yeah, definitely. It's the kids, they like it. They like to be able to come out here and wander around, and they don't, they feel safe, but also like they're away from things and they're by themselves, and we have people out in the maze that make sure things are good. And when we get real busy on Fridays and Saturdays, we have Tumwater Police Department comes over and helps us out and make sure that we keep some order around here.
So another thing that's unique about your maze, I think, is that you have a gazebo and you have a fire on weekends.
Yeah.
And then also you have concessions that people can buy some things. What kind of things do they have?
So we've got the gazebo with the fire pit in the middle. So if you want to bring some marshmallows out, roast some marshmallows, do some s'mores, that's really neat. And it's covered, so the gazebo's covered area, so it's really nice. Sometimes parents like to sit around the fire while they're waiting for their kids in the corn maze. And then in our concessions, we do some hot dogs, candy, soda, chips, real basic. And then, yeah.
And then you also sell pumpkins and corn?
Yeah, what's really cool, and this is actually one of the, I don't know if this is going on anywhere else in Thurston County, but we do horse-drawn hay rides out to the pumpkin patch with our Clydesdale horses. So really neat that every year we have that gentleman come out, so people, and there's no charge to take the wagon out to the pumpkin patch and grab your pumpkins. 25
is that just
cents
weekends or on Saturdays?
Yeah, just Saturdays and Sundays in October.
In October to do a wagon ride to the pumpkin patch.
Yep. There's a number one here because we have actually two different mazes in the one design, and so this is entrance number 1, entrance number 2, entrance number 3, and entrance number 4. So there's actually 4. It's an entrance and an exit. You can go out, you can go in the same one, come out the same one, or you can go in one, come out the other. Just depends on kind of how you end up in the maze and how lost you really get.
Ryan, tell me about the corn you guys plant. Is that the same kind of corn that you sell, or what do you do with the corn at the end of the season?
Well, the corn maze corn is actually, this is field corn, so it's for animals. It's genetically modified actually to be bigger stalks of corn, bigger ears, and this specific variety is actually for corn mazes. So the wind can come through and knock down a corn maze, and that's not a good thing. And so we've only ever had wind blow down one of our corn patches, which it wasn't the corn maze, but one of our sweet corn. So the corn maze is field corn, and then all the other corn that we grow is sweet corn, which we sell at the farmer's market, sell here on the property. And and then what we do at the end of the year is that we have a paintball out here in November, and so people can just trash through the maze and play paintball, and then we just till it right back into the ground, so that actually saves us from having to do crop rotations.
So tell me a little about the design. Is it true? I heard a rumor that you guys were the very first designed corn maze in the whole world.
Well, actually what it is we were the first corn maze planted in the actual corn maze. The first corn maze planted in the actual design. So when you look at the aerial photo, what you see, the corn was actually planted that way. And so the gentleman that plants our corn maze does it in about 6 hours. It's all, the tractor actually runs on computer, it's all done through GPS. He grew up on a 2,000-acre corn farm, went to BYU Ag School, and his brother-in-law owned a GPS company, and so they got together and figured out how to create a system to do mapping and essentially plant in the actual design. So it takes him about 6 hours. We're actually the first corn maze that he starts with, and then he works his way across the U.S. and does about 100 mazes.
Wow.
And he plants ours in 6 hours. He doesn't even have to drive the tractor; the tractor drives itself, and he just flies all around here. It's quite a spectacle to watch this tractor just go and stop, reverse, go back. It's really neat.
So how long does it take to do the corn maze if you're coming here to do it the first time?
Well, we have, in each of our 2 mazes, there's 6 checkpoints, so the goal is to get to each checkpoint. At each checkpoint there's a hole punch. You punch the card we give you, lets you know you were there, and then at the end you have the sense of accomplishment. Okay, I made it to all 12 checkpoints. That takes approximately an hour to an hour and a half, just depends.
Have you ever had somebody get lost in the corn maze and not find their way out?
We have not, no. And so our way of knowing at the end of the day when we close down, if there's a car out in the parking lot, then we know that we need to go inside the maze and find somebody and let them know it's time to go. But we've never lost anybody. Interestingly, we had a lady. She was here with her daughter. I think she was 13, and it was a birthday party, and her daughter was gone for about 45 minutes. She came to us and said, "Hey, my daughter's lost. I don't know where she's at. I'm a little concerned." And so we sent some people out to look for her, and maybe a whole nother hour went by, and she started getting really concerned. And we had experienced this before, but we tried to calm her down, and she started getting pretty excited. Well, sure enough, she came walking out 15 minutes later or so with a boy. So she was in the maze with a boy. She didn't want to be found. So sometimes people just don't want to be found.
People don't want to be found in the corn maze. Anything else you really want the customers to know?
Well, I alluded to earlier that we do paintball out here in November. So if you, it's really neat. We got come in about $30, and you can rent the paintball gun. And whether you're a novice or a beginner, it's kind of for everybody, and it's a lot of fun.
So it's a free-for-all paintball contest, or
it's we have prizes, and basically there's teams. So there's capture the flag, and this year's theme is zombies, and so we'll have some zombies running around out there, and there's some big inflatables that you can get behind and hide behind.
And then what was the last thing you'd want your customers or potential customers to know about Rutledge Corn Maze?
Well, one, we're open, and things change every year. It's a little bit different. This year it's really exciting with our haunted maze. We've got a big facade that we built and put at the beginning of the maze, the haunted maze that is, and there'll be some different theatrics, and we're getting a little bit more creative. What's really cool is Thursdays in October we have what's called Haunting for Dollars, and so if you want to support, feel good about coming out here and spending your money, we have some different nonprofits that are going to be haunting the maze, and then a significant portion of the revenue goes to that organization the night that they're here, and that's Thursdays in October.
To find more information about the Rutledge Corn Maze, how do we do that?
www.rutledgecornmaze.com.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Out there, and there's some big inflatables that you can get behind and hide behind, and so yeah, it's unique. It's definitely, there's not very many, if any, paintball events going on in corn mazes. So we wanted to find a way, okay, what can we do in November when it's rainy out and nobody wants to go through the corn maze? Let them just come out and trash through.
Tell me a little bit more about the Haunting for Dollars on Thursdays nights, and who are some of the folks you've signed up so far?
So October 4th, we have the Miss Thurston County pageant girls. So there's going to be scary princesses out in the maze. That's really, I'm really excited about that. October 11th, we have a local girls roller derby team. So they're gonna, they pretty much, when they're roller derbying, they kind of look like they're trying to scare people. So that'll be really easy for them. And then October 18th, we have Olympia Art Space Alliance is going to be out here, and they're also going to be auctioning off some pumpkins. So some local artists are going to be carving some pumpkins, and
neat.
All that money will go to the Art Space Alliance. So yeah, that's really neat. And then October 24th, we have the Black Hills High School football team is going to be out here haunting to raise money for the Booster Club. And then October 25th, this is probably the one that really touches my heart, is there's the Black Hills Gymnastics. There's a girl on that team, and she's come down with a really serious illness, and so that night all the funds are going to go to help her deal with that, because it's become really, really costly for her.
And what are those hours for the Haunting for Dollars Thursday night hours?
Haunting for Dollars Thursday nights, it's going to be at dark, and so October 4th, what time it gets dark, and October 25th, what time it gets dark, is going to be probably a 2-hour difference. So you just kind of say, okay, it's dark, the maze is open, the haunted maze is open, and then it'll go till 10 p.m.
Okay, let's do our best zombie impressionations as we go off. All right. How's that, Matt?
Pretty good. Angie laughed a couple of times.
Sweet.
Yeah, I like the bridge idea. That's great. You can really see.
Did you do like a
maze.
360? If you do a 360 panoramic, that'd be really cool.
I did with still, but not with video. Cool.
Is that enough or you need more?
Well, that should probably do it. Good job.
Yeah, that's really neat. Can you, will you be able to send me that via email? Or
Yeah.
just a link to, it's probably like going to be on YouTube also.
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube before it's on TCTV.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if the story about the 13-year-old, that might not be something you want to keep in there.
Good.